Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am here with my co-caster, Sleepy with 2 3's. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, NightFiree. How are you tonight?
I am excellent. We're diving into a interesting matchup today, a pretty hype NA matchup, SMC Tactical versus Legionnaires. What are you anticipating we're going to see today? A bloodbath or a sweep or what?
I don't know. I haven't seen Legionnaires play this season, so I really don't know what to expect from them. SMC having a little bit of trouble, though, taking a few losses early on this season, but we'll have to see what comes out tonight. I think SMC is going to play a strong game, but we'll just have to see exactly how strong Legionnaires are playing.
Yeah, it is a... I don't know what to expect. Just taking a look at, you know, the overall rosters and what we've seen so far, I'm going to lean towards SMC Tactical coming out ahead in this one. Just I know too that they have been practicing a lot. I don't know if Legionnaires have been putting in a similar amount of consistent practice. You know, we popped into a matchup on Thursday. I think 2 weeks ago, last week, of their matchup, Legionnaires versus Rome. And they definitely were looking good. They're looking like the old veteran team that they are in terms of, you know, they've been around since season 2. They have well-formed strategies. They know the meta of maps, and they're definitely looking in good form. So I'm curious to see how they will face off against SMC. They've beaten Space Force 12-3. Nearly took a win from Animal House. I mean, they've definitely been doing well this season.
Well, then we should be able to see a good match tonight. Yeah, I'm excited to see exactly what comes out of it. I'm really hoping that they get this lobby up soon, though, so that we can get things kicked off for the folks at home.
Absolutely. We are eagerly awaiting that. We'll be diving into it shortly. I suppose we could take a little time to take a look at the pick bands of today, although we don't have all the information, I suppose. Maybe that's a bit of a strategical move from Legionnaires, but the bans from SMC is Downfall. And I'm not sure what Legionnaires ban is. Do you think they're going with that no ban strategy?
No, I don't think they are. I'm actually trying to get that sussed out right now. We need to get this game going, and so a little bit of communication going on my end. Sorry for the delay in response.
I'll carry the cast while you try and organize things on the back end. We'll take a look at the rosters for today, or at least what we can expect. Over on SMC Tactical, you have Sickness, their team captain, Captain Soda, Edna Jordan, Landon Jordan, Mr. Beefy, Pwnecake, and Parzival back on the SMC Tactical squad. And over on Legionnaires, you have Kitten Mittens, DMT, El Vegas, Mr. Miyagi, Raider, Zarek, and Kagan. And I mean, both these teams have been around for a very long time. SMC, a diamond tier team. Legionnaires, gold. Gotta take a look here and see what the MMR difference is. SMC Tactical is 1240. Legionnaires are 1230. So, yeah, this isn't a button cut match like we had earlier today, where there was a 50 MMR difference. This is a tightly MMR matchup. Words are hard.
Yes, they are, NightFiree, and I have an update on some information for you. We do have the ban from Legionnaires is going to be Suburbia, so we should be getting this lobby up off the ground, sir. You should be looking for Mr. Beefy as the host, by the way, NightFiree. That will change from the notes I sent you earlier.
As soon as that lobby's up, we'll be hopping into it. I see.
Lobby is up. Yeah.
Gosh, we have to do this the old school style.
I know, I haven't done this in so long thanks to the no VR setup we're used to running.
Apologize for any tech holdups that we may have, but we should be hopping in shortly. So we have you said Suburbia? Sorry, I was...
Yes, Legionnaires are going to ban Suburbia on their map ban pick.
Yes, so we'll dive back to the here. We have Downfall. We have now Suburbia off the table, and we're going to be hopping into map 1 of Bazaar. I feel like this is a very something that's very common in the higher tier teams. Bazaar is usually a great kickoff map. You can kind of suss out your shot, you know, go for some long range angles if you want, or keep it tight and teamwork focused.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think coordination is very much key in this map. You've got a lot of entry points to a lot of these objectives as a defender to have to watch. And as an attacker, you're best to utilize those multiple points of entries when attacking these objectives. So it always makes for a good fight, in my opinion. We always see some really great tactics and some really great plays come out when we see this map come into the rotation.
Absolutely, and it's going to be fun to kick off the series SMC Tactical Legionnaires on here. And take a look at the active rosters for today. Mr. Beefy, on SMC's side, sorry, we have Mr. Beefy, Captain Soda, Pone Cake, Landon Jordan, and The Sickness. Sometimes you see Sickness kind of rotate out, even though he's the team captain. I've seen him get swapped from time to time. And over on Legionnaires, you have Meowgi, Kit Mittens, Radar, Kagan, and Zarek. Pretty standard rosters out of these two squads. Although they do subs pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just any team just trying to make sure all your players get that time in the real life match situation where things are on the line. The MMR is actually at stake. You know, you can scrim all week long, you can scrim every day of your life, but sometimes the pressure just doesn't feel like it's there because you're not really losing anything, win or lose. You're only gaining knowledge.
Absolutely. We should be diving into this matchup shortly. I guess kind of got to get into our predictions here. What are we going to expect out of SMC Tactical and Legionnaires? Talked about the roster lineups, talked about playstyles a little bit. SMC Tactical, I anticipate to kind of come out of the gate being very aggressive. I anticipate some really fast, coordinated Marsoc rounds here. And Legionnaires have to be ready for that because it can be a snowball effect for sure.
Okay, and I'm receiving some exciting news, actually, NightFiree. It appears that the new equipment, i.e. the RPG and M203 underbarrel grenade launcher, have been pre-agreed upon by both teams for this matchup. So we are going to be seeing some interesting gameplay here. And I'm excited to get ready and watch this. I'm ready for them to kick.
Words are hard, Sleepy.
They're hard today, NightFiree.
We're not going to see any RPGs on Legionnaires today, but I definitely think we're going to see at least some grenade smokes or some RPG shots out of SMC Tactical, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, SMC is going to be playing.
Have to do a restart.
Yep, looks like there was a restart executed by SMC.
I think they had the old stuck in spawn bug there, couldn't get out.
Ruh-roh, that's never a good thing.
But yeah, it definitely does bring up the point of conversation. These M203 grenade launcher and RPG were added a couple of weeks ago into the game. Teams have had a good amount of time to use them, and the league just hasn't greenlit it quite yet, unless both teams agree upon it. So, interestingly enough, Legionnaires, they say they're down, and I know that these teams are practicing with these new utility, even though they're not officially allowed in League. I'm sure SMC Tactical is asking every team they play, hey, can we use these?
Hey, why not? I mean, it gives a chance, and I mean, the mods have been hoping that some teams would agree to it so that we can make a decision onto their balance or maybe how to better balance them in League play. But thus far, I've not known of anyone else using it, so I'm glad to be, like I said, I'm glad to be seeing it here on SMC versus Legionnaires. It'll help us kind of figure out whether or not it should be just allowable in regular League play.
Yeah, and what it brings is these M203 and RPG. I mean, it's very quick, long-range, explosive deployables. Like you can take out, just think of a very example off the top of my head, not on this map, but think of Subway. If you're on the bottom of the stairs with an RPG, You shoot up the stairs on the north or south side of the map, and you can kill 3 people at the top of the stairs with an explosive. You normally would require maybe a nade, a well-timed air burst, or something like that. It definitely does change the pace of how you advance forward as well, because you can put smokes into those M203s, and launch smoke grenades with pinpoint accuracy. I've been really eager to see how this is going to affect the meta play, and it looks like Sickness has the launcher, and they've loaded him up with smokes. We're underway, Sleepy.
My apologies there. I had muted myself to cough and about to unmute again. Yes, we are, but I'm surprised to see he's got that smoke launcher on his rifle, but yet he threw 3 or 4 smokes by hand. Kittenman's, though, going to get an immediate pick on the Sickness as they push west. Landon's going to be pinned here in a blue hallway by the blue room on the southwest side of the map.
I don't think I got either one of them. I'm going to rotate.
Good shot from Kittens. He's not sure he even landed those shots there, but he did definitely get one. And Zarek here has crossed the street. Pancake ready for that position.
No, he's
there.
dead. It's me. It's me.
A little
Yes,
team fire coming there as well.
Mr. Beefy also apparently rocking the grenade launcher, but with the grenade variant rather than the smoke variant. He pops off a nice arc shot, but to no avail, unfortunately.
The blue objective building, or blue objective room, just to the right.
Now, the M203 doesn't require special rounds, does it?
In real life, yes, it does have a special round different from that of your regular old frag.
In-game, Sleepy, in-game.
Yes. I don't know. I think it just comes preloaded and you only get 1 shot with it, so. To my knowledge.
That would make sense why they had to dump out a bunch of those smokes across the street, in addition to having the grenade launcher.
You are absolutely right. It wouldn't work if not, right? Landon's gonna find Miyauki though. And a nice pick from the second story of the change building, 2-story kill box, whatever you want to call it. Captain Soda though gonna rush out it. Kagan gonna snag him. Landon gonna return the favor though.
Doing some work up here. Kitten with a nice rotation catches him out, and he's charging towards objective. He's the last one alive. It's been a 1v2 situation, and both these SMC tactical guys were right around objective, and he was doing what he had to do. Pancake catches him out from blue room, and SMC take a Marsoc round for their first round. I mean, I'm excited. This is a good indicator of what we can expect in this series. Let's see how Legionnaires put out on their Marsoc round now, and we'll see if an RPG gets picked for SMC Tactical.
Yeah, I say Legionnaires did a pretty good job there. Kitten Mitten's doing a great job getting a couple of key picks on that round. But overall, there was a few back and forth trades between both teams. So I think we're going to see a really good matchup here tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was SMC doing some work, too. They had quite a good opportunity to crash in on objective and put in a cap. Landon up on that 2-story. If he didn't get picked off, it would have been very hard to properly defend that objective. So close to a cap, ultimately taking that first round. And I don't know, this new utility, man, definitely throws a lot out.
The possibilities,
yeah,
NightFiree.
man.
My eyes are starry like a little child's, man.
What's
something cool?
What's really gonna require is kind of I'm not used to these such quick deploy. You know, it's gonna be hard to catch a grenade M203 kill. It's gonna be hard to track. I don't even know if we actually have trails for M203 shots.
We don't. If what I saw from Mr. Beefy when he fired in that last round, I didn't see any.
Yeah, that's gonna be very hard. So we'll have to get on that.
Yes, devs, when you watch this cast back, please
trails.
Give us trails on the 203s and the RPGs. That would be fantastic.
Wonder if. Oh, I was about to say SMC are down one, but Landon's over there. He's gonna be pushing over to the east side and guarding that southeast corner.
Yeah, and it looks like Legionnaires, they're going to spread a little bit of east, a little bit of west, but primarily west for the most part initially. Yeah, Landon's going to be watching that far west, or no, that's Captain Soda going to be watching that far west alley.
They're crashing up into this two-story. Does take some shots, and we have a trade. Quick res from Miyagi, some M203 shots coming out from Legionnaires as well. They're not afraid to use this new utility. A great shot onto the window. I don't know if that was what killed him. I think it was the AK-5C shots from Miyagi, but either way, Legionnaires here, they have absolutely decimated SMC Tactical's defense, and they're in a 5v2 advantage.
Yes, they are, and that's falling apart quickly for SMC. Legionnaires doing a great job in there. Raiders going to pick up Landon Jordan. Mr. Beefy's going to be the last one alive. Legionnaires not having lost a single member. One was down previously in a trade, but was almost immediately revived, and here we go now. The push from Legionnaires should be coming any minute. Mr. Beefy going to be across the street. There could be a good chance we could be seeing a Legionnaires cap coming out here in NightFiree. And there's the suppressive shots. Mr. Beefy's pushing out of the garage. He knows it's too far back to be defending from there. Now he's right on top of the objective. He actually might get Landon up. Yes, he does. There's the revive as it comes out. Landon, no, Beefy gonna peek the corner. He does grab Miyagi. But unfortunately, Eric right there to get the refrag.
Landon now last one alive. Definitely panicking on objective. Here's the footsteps above him. Has to be cautious of the drop down. But also has to be, I mean, he has to have this, he has to rotate like this. He has to make sure no one's capping on objective. Doesn't get shot from upstairs, and I think they're going to try and go for a cap here. They have 4 around objective. Zarek confirming Landon. I don't know why Raider didn't take him out earlier. Either way, I mean, in a minute, SMC Tactical lost 4.
Yeah, that was a great round from Legionnaires. They really brought the heat in that round, man. SMC was not ready for that push, and Legionnaires taking down 3 members pretty early on in the round, and it just left it up to Landon and Mr. Beefy. And unfortunately, those two just not able to hold on. Landon doing what he could, Mr. Beefy trying to push and suppress them, hold them back. But ultimately, Legionnaires going to get their point on Marsoc. And for once, instead of trading Volk rounds, we're trading Marsoc rounds, NightFiree. What do you think about that?
It's definitely interesting. We'll see if the trend continues in this series, but I think we're in for quite an interesting back and forth today.
You are absolutely right. In this next objective, I have a feeling Legionnaires might show us something special again. They are a very sneaky team, mind you, and we have a great objective for that. We're going to have the Kayat building for our next objective, NightFiree.
Indeed we are. It's, well, with these M203s, I think it's going to be quite hard to defend, honestly. You know, a lot of your normal defensive positions are super vulnerable to a quick nade shot from an M203 into any one of these windows. I mean, definitely.
It's going to be something to have to consider as a defender on this objective, that is for sure. I mean, explosives going to be a much more difficult threat if they are becoming more widespread use in the league. Quick shots coming out from, looks like Ponecake there. And he might see Mr. Miyagi quickly, but Ponecake going to be able to take down Mr. Miyagi and secure the east side for SMC Tactical.
They pushed into that blue room. They'll move in through the courtyard area.
That's me.
All the while, Beefy has positioned himself to be readily available to launch that M203 right into the objective or any one of these meta defensive positions.
Ooh, but Raider gonna pick up Landon Jordan. That could be a big crutch onto the SMC's attack. Landon, a very reliable source of getting kills for the SMC squad.
Jeez, Raider has taken all sorts of punishment. An M203 causing some damage. Finally getting picked there by Beefy through the wood.
Oh, and here come the smokes now. We could be seeing the push from SMC, or it could be some bait and switch. Captain Soda is going to change his line of sight and head upstairs. But he's super exposed, and I wouldn't recommend that to your average player. He runs out, he runs in and grabs Kittenmans. He's got Tablet out as he moves in towards the objective. Nobody's even the wiser that he's here. Kagan's coming around the corner, but Ponecake's going to find him. Captain Soda's going to get the cap, and SMC go up 2 points to take this 3-1 on map number 1.
Still had an M203 available. They didn't even use one of their nade launchers, and yeah, they basically just stormed objective, and Zarek just didn't even have time to check the pad. They lost 3 so quickly on OBJ. Very savvy to have for Captain Soda to just be going for that cap and trusting his teammates to be covering those angles, because, you know, if you go in with your gun, maybe you hear some footsteps, you second guess pulling out your pad, you go for the kill, then you pull the pad out, and by that time, Eric has finally decided to crash on objective. So just good team coordination there, and Soda getting 2 for his squad.
Yeah, and that actually touches back on something I talked about in my last game that I casted. Having that person to back you up on the objective if you are going for the cap. Because had Ponecake not been there to come in and kill Cake, and Captain Soda was a sitting duck, and if he wouldn't have just simply dropped his tablet, there was no putting it back in his situation. He would have had to drop his tablet and pull out his rifle, and there's no telling that if he would have guaranteed to get that kill as Kagan rushed in. But Ponecake able to secure that and give Captain Soda the all clear to get that cap and put SMC up 2 points.
Very nicely done as we dive into round number 4.
We're going to go far west.
I expect a pretty strong answer back from Legionnaires, though, honestly. They looked so good on their last attack.
They really did.
I mean...
I will completely agree with you there. Legionnaires looking fantastic on that first burst. That first push, man, words are really hard today, NightFiree. But yeah, I'm expecting to see them possibly pulling out a cap here. SMC always playing that very aggressive Western defender up in the north. Typically it is Ponecake, and again, yes, it is Ponecake again. So that's always one man that if everything happens just at the right magical moment, he could be caught out and on a far rotation. However, Mr. Miyagi is right on the other side of the wall. Ponecake gonna be looking through the window, and he does find him.
One dead, one in west block.
Yeah, usually you anticipate someone to be inside that room there, not on the outside of that window. Raider catching Sickness out in his standard position, covering this little courtyard area. They're doing their homework.
That's right. It seems like they've watched a few VODs of the SMC cast. They knew exactly where to find SMC there in that last shot.
Calm before the storm here. Raiders in a position to attack objective. They just don't really have the defenders cleared. Beefy has some decent line of sight onto OBJ. Soda up in the 2-story. It is actually kind of an exposed objective, honestly, if Raider can sneak in.
Raider under some team fire there. And it's not a good thing.
No. Not what you want. Little frag there? Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. Good way to just check the objective. Landon, you can hear him there off camera just trying to bait out the fake grenade down, and Kitten Minzo's gonna find Mr. Beefy, and that's gonna open up the west side of this market. Yeah, it really is.
Ponecake
Okay,
denying.
gonna find him another one.
Landon trading. Now that's
That's a
Kagan's,
viable objective for Legionnaires now.
yeah, Kagan's turn to come in. He needs to
If
crash
these two
in.
push together just like Ponecake and Captain Soda did in the last round, Kagan and Kitten Mittens could come back with a cap here against SMC. Ponecake does seem to be on the rotation back. Kitten Mittens does find Captain Soda. The objective's completely clear. If they know that, they should be rushing in right now. I don't see either one of them, though, moving at any pace. Ponecake's going to find Kitten Mittens. And as he rushes back to the objective, will Kagan find him out?
Yeah, Ponecake seems pretty ready. And the clutch there from Pone Cake.
And that's map number 1.
Comments there from the squad. Landon, Pone Cake. What is his overall scoreline? 7-1 there to end the map. 4-1 for SMC Tactical.
Yeah, and a great start for SMC Tactical. Legionnaires almost had it there. If they had just pushed right after Kitmans had gotten that kill onto Captain Soda, they could have had that cap back against them and even that out to 3-3, and we would have been heading into a very tight first map. But instead, we'll be moving on to map 2, which is
I haven't seen this one.
interesting.
I can't remember seeing this in a very long time.
I have casted a match on this yesterday in the Colettos versus.
You know, everyone keeps saying that. That match doesn't. They're doing unorthodox things because they're crazy. Okay, they're the new players in the new leagues. They're doing ridiculous things. To see a top tier team pick Quarantine 2 is ridiculous. I've never seen it play.
Well, it's Legionnaires.
To see bipods, you know, in a silver. It's crazy. People are doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what people are drinking in the water. But yeah, this is definitely Legionnaires' map pick.
I think Legionnaires does typically sometimes try and throw it off with a night map or two, especially when they can't pick their favorite map Downfall.
Really? Maybe
Yeah, Downfall is their favorite now.
Oh, I know that, but I don't like. I can't. I'm excited to see it, but yeah, we just haven't seen night maps from top tier teams in a while.
Yeah, that's true, but here we go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think
that edgy need.
Yeah, I think those newer teams are influencing some of the stuff we're seeing in league for sure. You know, they're picking out some new strats, some new spots, trying out some new maps, maybe giving some of these older teams stuck in their old ways some new ideas. Legionnaires have been around since season 2, and yeah, maybe they've decided to work some new strats out on Quarantine Night. Both guys taking their time as well. We've been between maps for a couple of minutes now.
Yeah, I'd say Legionnaires probably trying to draw up a pretty solid plan. SMC Tactical probably pretty confident in their Quarantine 1 abilities translating over into this pretty brightly lit version of Quarantine Night, so I don't think they're really too worried about the map selection if I was to guess.
I mean, the main reason you tend to pick Night is for the shield laser sight night vision advantage.
I'll be checking for that.
Yeah.
I do see everyone on on SMC Tactical taking night vision.
Shots come out from Eric from the hillside. That's going to give away their north spawn, but he did try and take out the 2 that pushed east towards the southeast portion of the map there. Raider going to push right past the radar antenna.
Yeah, that's absolutely why you smoke those crossings there, because of that potential north spawn.
That is absolutely right, NightFiree. Kitmans and Meowgi have already pushed pretty far to the west. They're going to be able to sneak up right behind Mr. Beefy here.
Sickness.
I got one down.
Wow, he got aggressive
one
there.
down
Once
at
they
the-
knew
I
they
got
were
one there
they had
at the-
spawned north.
there's another-
Sickness cross street and kept pushing.
Beefy going to grab.
Beefy.
Yeah, he's grabbing an angle on Eric in the north courtyard, but Kitmans and Mr. Meowgi are going to have heard that. They know he's very close. Mr. Meowgi going to be able to push completely around Beefy without him knowing. There's a good chance with the right moves, Meowgi could sneak in and possibly get the cap here.
The M203 does some damage onto Beefy, doesn't kill him.
But a nice cleanup from Mr. Miyagi nonetheless. He rushes in immediately and finishes him off with his carbine.
Serious, I heard him scream.
I gotta be honest, this is a completely different Legionnaires than I was expecting to see tonight. They are putting up a good fight against SMC. It's just, you know, with the cap that SMC was able to get on the last map, it just put them too far ahead, and, you know, we saw exactly what happened from there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, the communications there, the team, the pre-planned strats are there. You know, they
and
have
the
ideas.
skills of the players are there as well.
Yeah.
One down, I got
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely looking good. Tying it up into a 3v3 here to kick off this quarantine 2.
Yeah, I'm just following Kagan or Mr. Miyagi over here at the gas station at this point. He's in a good route to be able to get right over to the objective. If he can take down, who is this on the wing cap, Soda, or even get around him. Ooh, and Mr. Miyagi's done a nice bold move. He's picked up an enemy weapon, so now the team is going to think that, you know, one of their friendlies made the shot. Another 203 round going in towards the objective, and Miyagi's going to go in to try and finish off Soda. He doesn't want those callouts to keep coming from him. And there goes the kill right there. The confirm is in.
Did you now know there is one plane wing? At least they should have an idea. You can see Sickness there peeking. Does catch Miyagi in the shoulder, not the head. Kitten catches Pwnecake out, and now their objective's completely exposed. Sickness is aware of this. He's trying to rotate around. He's crashing in towards objective. Doesn't have a line of sight on it. Kids does actually spot him there on the corner and nicely catching him out. Now they're into a 1v2. Plane wing has dropped down. I think this is honestly the best spot for Sickness to defend. He feels he has to get a little closer to objective, though.
Yes, but yeah, exactly as you said. He's pushed up to that wall, and no Kagan's gonna find him on the backside from the southeast.
I don't know.
Legionnaires go up 1.
I really actually liked the spot he initially got that pick from. If he stays behind that wall, just like a good defensive spot to be in, really, covering objective. But either way, good work from Legionnaires, and they take a Marsoc round to kick things off and take the lead 1-0.
Yeah, and that was a great round from Legionnaires. They're doing well. I mean, they're winning Marsoc rounds against SMC, and that's pretty impressive. Again, I haven't watched their games in some time, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I'm pleasantly surprised with their gameplay. SMC still showing a little bit of faltering, but they are still playing a strong game tonight as well. And we're getting a good matchup here, and I'm so happy to see it.
That first round on Bazaar, definitely a good indicator of what we should be expecting. See if Legionnaires do all the pre-smoking as well, and see if SMC can get a mirrored spawn. Because that north spawn, it can spell some very early danger for a Volk defense. If you don't properly smoke, if you're not careful, you can lose 2 or 3 guys right away trying to rotate out into your position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You'll see a lot of guys in teams like SMC, like Global Chem, like Beginners. If they get that north spawn, they will be picking and looking for the picks on those defenders right away. It does look like, though, they got the fast spawn here. SMC going to be able to use some of that patented aggression that they tend to play with to at least gain some quick real estate here on the map before he goes and tries to get their cap, because you know that they're going to want to try and get a cap with how close Legionnaires got in that last round.
Well, I guess it's important to also point out you don't need to invest smokes if you don't cross over there. And actually, this is interesting. Legionnaires sending out... Yeah, they're ready for this. Miyagi catching out Landon there. Those smokes were there to defend. The
Raider finds Sickness.
Oh, wow, that wasn't even the confirm. Yeah, another pick. BP here does get Miyagi on the rotation. Kitten Mittens, it's his turn now to peek the corner. As he comes around, Pwnecake denies that pick, and all sorts of people going down here as Legionnaires get a little over-aggressive, and suddenly it's a 2v3, 2v4 with Pwnecake getting rezzing Landon.
Now it is officially a 2v4 as Pwnecake picks up the confirm onto Mr. Miyagi. It's just 2 defenders left against 4 members of SMC. It's very unlikely here that we're going to see the the Legionnaires able to pull this one out, but we'll have to watch and see if Eric and Hagen can pull things through.
203 bursting above Zarek there. Smokes coming in from Ponecake, and I think Cap is definitely on their mind. Pick up from Zarek on to Beefy as he rotates around, but Landon on objective, pad out. Punching in the code with the help of Ponecake on his backside. And SMC Tactical could take two. What's Zarek doing? He abandoned objective.
I have no idea, but Landon gonna get the objective and get 2 for SMC. It's a great way to answer back, but not so great for Legionnaires. I mean, I thought you guys didn't really have too much of a chance against the 4-man SMC squad, but boy, I did not think you would just abandon the objective like that. I'm a little surprised and just speechless at that. Yeah, completely.
Unsure what happened there. Either way, SMC definitely capitalizing on some opportunities there, getting a nice 2 points. Good answer back there for a Marsoc round of their own, and they take the lead 2-1 now. That's hard. That's hard to deal with, right when you think you're starting to get momentum too, and then to have a cap come out like that. It's all up. It's this series really is going to come down to how Legionnaires answer back on this Marsoc round.
You're exactly right, NightFiree. This round is going to be make or break for the Legionnaires. They have to win it, whether they get the kills or whether they get the cap. They have to take this round, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, we do have a, this is also worth mentioning, we have a double header going on today in the Master League. Space Force versus Riot's being played over on Master League 2. I'm sure we'll be seeing them over here shortly since their game started a bit earlier. But I guess at this pace, we may be done before they are. SMC Tactical, really, I mean, these guys are playing these rounds so quickly.
Yes, they are. SMC getting those caps to get those 2 points and really speed along their best of 7 score spread. And now they're on a defensive round. We could be seeing a 3-1 here unless Legionnaires gets their stuff in line.
Early shots trying to catch out a SMC defensive rotation. That does give away that north spawn, so we'll see how SMC reacts, because they are a team that does very much react once they have information. They don't really stay stagnant.
Absolutely. They are very fluid offense and defense. Their defense is good about rotating when they have information. Their offense is good as well. Raider, though, going to pick up the surprise pick in that exchange. Beefy going to be quick to get the refrag, though, in his typical position where he was. Raider going to, or Eric going to accidentally kill Raider with the grenade. And now he's going to die to Zarek, or to Mr. Beefy.
I'm very surprised that they didn't bother to smoke that cross or even check that angle, because the position that Beefy's in is super common. It's a very normal defensive position to be in. You're covering the street. You have a nice line of sight. You know, the only way to really kill him is to peek your angles, expose yourself a little bit, and or come around behind him. But he has his backside covered by Landon there, so I don't know. You definitely have to check this angle or at least smoke it.
Yeah, I think they learned from their last mistake where Beefy was basically all alone in the west with nobody really watching his back, and he got snuck up on. That really opened SMC's eyes, and as you can see, they're covering their butts there in the west now. Neoga's going to try and cross the street, and he's going to fall victim to Beefy's gun as well.
Could be wrong.
They have to neutralize him, whether it be with smoke or by taking him out before they try and cross that street again. There is just no chance, if not.
Kagan is finally now checking for the angle on Beefy. Sickness catches Kit Mittens, who did manage to cross the street without getting killed by Beefy, but couldn't do much more there to try to get across that other one.
Beefy's gonna get aggressive, and Kagan's gonna end up taking him down. He's gonna finish him off. I'm not sure why. Maybe he can't see any piece of Beefy to really double tap him, but here comes a frag in. It's gonna go long, however, from Landon. He's just too strong, Landon. But he does find him in the end, and SMC Tactical take their 3rd point on the map and go one more step closer to closing out the series.
This is, I guess, what I sort of anticipated in my mind. I was hoping, you know, I mean, we're seeing, you know, like you said, those capabilities of Legionnaires are there. They're definitely playing well. Some good shots, some good plays. But to let the caps come in, that's what's really hurting them the most, I think. And it swings momentum into SMC's side. And when you talk about a team that can ride momentum, SMC is it, dude. They are a very... if you can... It's going to be a battle playing SMC. You're never really... I don't think SMC will ever get swept. And if they get momentum, it's very hard to slow them down.
Yes, SMC, you're exactly right. They are very much a momentum team. If they get on a roll, it is hard to stop them. You can ask the beginners, you can ask the G-men, you can ask the danglers. SMC is hard to stop when you get them going, so you got to keep them back. You have to win your rounds. You have to show them that, hey, you're not just going to keep rolling over us, because if you show that weakness, they are going to open that door and just going to roll hard and spread that score line. So let's hope Legionnaires can find something here on their last hope at saving this map.
Timing was almost perfect as we dive into our could-be series deciding round for SMC Tactical, and they'll get a far crater spawn, so finally forcing SMC to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, they will have to slow down, but SMC doesn't have a problem slowing down when they need to as well. I have seen their play become a lot more coordinated and a lot less reckless over the last few seasons, so I don't think they'll have a problem with this spawn. They've been playing this map so much just from other teams at this level of play and, you know, at their skill level, so they're not really surprised with any sort of spawn with quarantine, I'm sure, at this point. Soda giving out a quick call out, calling out the burning rubble towards the roof courtyard or towards the roof. SMC going to be taking 3 men up the north. Landon, Jordan, Caps, Soda, and Mr. Beefy. Raider. He'll reach out and find sickness, but not completely. Yes, so yes, he does find the insta-kill.
That night vision, you can see without our flashlight. It definitely is a darker map. When you put that headset on, definitely tough to see the finer things, the finer details around some of those corners. So night vision comes into play there. I can't imagine not taking it in a competitive scene. I don't know what the merit would be. Obviously it requires, I think it's only 1 point now. So it's not even that, it doesn't require a huge investment in points, but I think everybody takes night vision now on night map.
Yeah, it's just a safe bet, and with the new night vision, it's definitely a worthy piece of equipment to have with you.
Here's Beefy with an M203 shot.
No dice.
Wow, he tried to nade Kagan there. Almost had that angle set up pretty well. I think he was aligning it with something in the skybox and then trying to shoot from there.
There's one way out here in the West Street.
Beefy does pick up the shots that come in from Kitmans there in the far west.
I got him.
Kitmans, if they just hold him back, they don't even have to kill him, because if they take down the rest of the defense, they could just go in and cap again and make this a 5-1. But it looks like Landon Jordan's gonna get his way over there and just sneak in, get the kill, while Kitten's got his eyes on Beefy's location.
Like Miyagi finally caught out Landon. Landon was rotating around to get Kitten mittens. Now Beefy's sort of sandwiched between two defenders here. Kitten.
Yeah, this is definitely not what Beefy wants. A quick mag swap. And he's just waiting for Kitmans to poke the corner again, but it doesn't seem that he's going to do that.
Well, at the corner, Raider catches out Captain Soda trying to cross out on the nose of the plane there. SMC
Well, this is exactly what Legionnaires need. They need this defensive round to stay alive here on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. Beefy
Still in guest.
still trying to deal with this situation he's in. He has 2.5 minutes left, so I don't know what the right play is here. I think obviously you have to leave that corner and abandon trying to get that kill.
Homecake's going to be in a tough spot here after he takes those shots in the south. The defense, especially the ones close by to the objective, are going to have their eyes in that direction now, and he's got no choice in direction, really. Maybe he can wrap around the north side of the ambulance building, but it's going to be an unlikely route because he will be seen by the defenders pretty easily.
Yeah, Legionnaires 5 still alive. Nobody has been picked off. Beefy's been definitely looking. I think the one time he didn't have eyes on Kitten, Kitten does finally cross. Pwnecake catches out Kagan.
Two dead here.
And
on that
Raider.
wall.
No, there's one more.
He still knows
Zarek.
Zarek's there. Jeez, Pwnecake. What an animal. That's 3 for him here, and he's just swung the tides for SMC Tactical. Legionnaires now into a 2v2.
You're absolutely right. Kagan's view will provide Legionnaires with a little bit of a radio beacon as to Mr. Beefy's location. Of course, he's also engaged in a firefight. Mr. Pwncake's gone in, but unfortunately, Mr. Meowkity watching from the store side room there. And he's going to catch Pwnecake as he goes for the cap.
Now into a 1v1 standoff here. 45 seconds left. If Meowgie just tucks in, he can force Beefy to push objective.
That's right, 40 seconds. That's exactly what he should do. They've got nobody calling out information otherwise. Got a couple of teammates that are down, but it's not worth the revive. They should just be calling out if they happen to see anything at all. So let him know where they are. Check his time, stay hidden if he can. And maybe stay quiet. So Mr. Beefy, but actually Mr. Beefy, he's got the right idea. He's moved around.
Oh
He can actually get the cap here. He's got the cab out. Oh my goodness.
12
He's going for the cap, and Mr. Miyagi has no idea. Here comes Mr. Miyagi around the corner to check it, and he gets Mr. Beefy. Oh my goodness, NightFiree. They saved this round by the skin of their teeth.
Really close. I don't know. I guess with the time constraints, it was the right choice, but Beefy should have heard the footsteps there and dropped pad and gone for a gun there, because they don't need the cap. They needed that kill to win that map. Either way, a
And now
nice...
Legionnaires have a chance to come back here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's going to happen, folks? You let us know your predictions in the chat, because we sure do appreciate you guys stopping in and viewing with us. We know there's another match going on, and we appreciate any of you who might be tuning into both or hopping between the two. So thanks for coming out this Saturday night.
Back into the series. SMC trying to take it. They've definitely gotten very close a few times. They're now going into their Volk defense.
I'm gonna take the same spot. Okay.
You can see pretty well around the objective.
They're trying to hold here 3-2.
I'm going middle.
Round number
We could check this
5.
one. No, they can still wait.
Yes. Legionnaires gonna get a pretty quick spawn for this objective. They'll be getting that northern spawn near the red tin roofs. They're gonna stay a little low off the hillside. Those raiders pushed up very heavy. I think Cap Soda might have heard it.
Oh, he did. He was trying to radio it in, but Radar peeks the corner as he has his hands on his comms.
Now, if Legionnaires do not smoke this center street before trying to cross, I don't know what to say. I mean, they're just foolish because Mr. Beefy has been there literally every time there's been an objective on this side of the map. You just need to expect it. You need to smoke that street and always assume somebody is watching that street crossing.
One down on objective.
Hidden catches sickness and takes some fire from middle burning there.
Burning. Second story of burning.
Yeah, you trying to get those kills, and yeah, I would just. They have to check, you know. Raider at least has to peek and look for Beefy around this corner. It does look like he is going to try and toss a smoke, but not onto Beefy's position, and I think he's just going to run across the street again. It's almost comical, really. You have to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, and there, Ponke gonna grab Eric and finish off Raider as Beefy confirms him as well. So now it's just up to the guys that are pushing west and the one on the roof to get the picks needed to be able to push in on this pretty, well, realistically unguarded, except for the guys on the center burning.
I'll take this out, it's fine. But I know you cannot go anywhere right now. Yeah.
3v3. I think their defensive spread is pretty good. They are a little bit vulnerable over here. If Mr. Miyagi can cross and kind of sneak around behind the defense, there's some possibilities of a cap behind SMC's back.
Yeah, that is true.
But that's not going to happen. It looks like Beefy heard the footsteps behind him, called it out, and Landon was trained in. Picks him off very quick, and like that, SMC have the advantage.
And that's exactly the kind of communication and coordination that a team needs. That's exactly what you want to see.
How many we got down?
And you know what I think is happening here? I think that the Legionnaires are checking the angle, but they're checking it from here where Kagan is. And the problem is that you can check that, but there's a wall.
Yeah, and that's exactly where Beefy is sitting, right behind where that wall is, and it blocks your view of his actual position.
If he's just a little bit more to the left, covering the same angle, he'd be dead every time by Legionnaires. But because he's using that wall to deny that little gap, he can kind of sit here free and easy and just watch this one street. And I think that's what's throwing off Legionnaires. I'm sure they are checking that, because I just can't imagine that you would cross the street without at least checking that defensive position. And also, I mean, to add to this, even with night vision, it's super hard to identify somebody, especially a Volk, blended in with that black background of the fuselage. And he does spot him, but not before Beefy gets the shots.
Yeah, and it's looking like the SMC is going to be able to close out this map on Legionnaires and ultimately the series. There's 2 minutes left on the clock, though, and Kitmans, who has been performing quite well for the Legionnaires tonight, is still up for Legionnaires and on the Marsoc push. Can he make it? He has 2 minutes left, and we'll have to find out in the next few seconds.
Gonna be a tall order, to say the least. He has to get Beefy down first, for sure, but they know he's here in the corner. He's gonna try and smoke it. He tries to drop back to the APC, maybe to scavenge. He could scavenge utility off of his teammate. A couple of smokes there on the ground, I think.
He does not really have time for this. I don't know what he's doing, but he's moving from an exposed location to an even more exposed location. I hope he's not planning on using this tree for any sort of good.
Trying to get a line of sight on the Landon. Took shots up there. Landon's pretty exposed himself up onto that second story, and Kitten does
You're
find
exactly
the
right.
shots. Somehow gets across Beefy. He goes back for the kill, and that's what cost him his life. SMC Tactical take that last round, and they take the series. in a row.
I thought Kid Mittens might be onto something there, but
He was onto something. He was doing work. Not sure why he went back for the kill there once he had already crossed. But man,
heat of the moment, man. That battle choice.
Just one. Did we?
hey, look at this. This is actually pretty surprising. Actually, let's think about, was the last map pick? Yeah, it was Legionnaires. So yeah, this actually isn't very surprising, as we are going to go into Cargo for our third map, courtesy of SMC Tactical.
Yes, and I'm going to expect a lot of well-placed grenades here.
You know,
and a lot of dead Legionnaires.
I was thinking, we have the M203s are allowed here in this series. We barely saw any of it on Quarantine. It was hardly.
I know, you're exactly right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we've seen absolutely zero RPG usage, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so I think if we're going to see it, this is going to be where a lot of M203 and RPG rounds are going to be coming out. I don't know if anybody will actually pick the RPG, because that's a large point investment.
It's also pretty detrimental to your team because you only have that one shot with the loadout.
Right.
So
that's what I mean. It's a commitment.
It really is. It's a way of life. I'm sure Lorena Scout will be the first person to just use RPG only forever in his league matches, because he's that guy that loves to use the pistols and shotguns in comps and league matches. So he'd be the one that I could see running around with a pistol and an RPG as an official loadout.
No substitutions coming in on this last map either. Same 5 on both sides. And yeah, this has been a pretty quick series. We're done with 2 maps in under an hour. That's guys are moving.
Yeah, they really are. But I mean, SMC's always been known to play pretty quickly. Legionnaires have picked up their speed actually quite a bit since I've last seen them play. But I think that's because El Vegas may not be active on their team anymore, and he was a big proponent towards their more slow and methodical play. They're still playing quite methodical, but they have picked up pace here. I think they've reached a level similar to Blaze where they're able to play tactically and methodically, but they are able to continuously maintain momentum and keep moving forward on the map. So I think we'll see some good things from Legionnaires in the future, either this season or even next.
Yeah, this is our second time tuning in and watching them, and I think they're going to be a squad that we're going to have to catch some more games of this season for sure.
Uh-oh, we do have an RPG from Mr. Miyagi. He also has C4, which he's just given to Eric. Nope, never mind. He'll just take the C4, not the clacker.
Wonder what his position is going to be.
I want to see where he puts that RPG. This is quite interesting. Nobody's rushing to place any sort of suppressive fire on the long alley shots. Kagan actually retreating a bit. This is quite unusual for me to see teams not get any sort of aggressive. I mean, they're all behind the line of scrimmage, if you will. The objective is the farthest thing forward on this defense.
I almost feel like Miyagi can't get out of spawn or something, but they're just sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
One dead.
Miyagi seems to be able to move now. Pone Cake picks up Zarek and landed with a beautiful grenade. Grabs Raider. Sickness will grab Mr. Miyagi.
No M203s and no RPGs being launched quite yet. There's the res. Nice shots from Kitten catching out Pone Cake, and the smoke push coming out here from SMC Tactical. Sickness with the pad out. He's coming in towards objective, punching in code. Kagan does spot him. Trades here in the center, and Kitten.
Now it's Soda's turn to cap. He's on the objective. He's got pad out. He's right behind the objective box.
He's punching it in. He gets 2 and a nice cap from SMC Tactical. Again, just taking advantage of the chaos and moving in. They move in before they can even check the pad, you know?
Yep. Yeah, they were definitely able to just rotate the next guy in there. That's how they strike. They come in as a complete unit. There's always someone in there to back them up. So if one goes down, that next one can go right in there. And Danglers also have a similar play style and similar in certain objectives. They're all right there, ready to just roll and tab out very quickly. And that lack of reaction time that they allow their defenders allows for situations like this to happen. And SMC, just on a cap fast here in this series so far, they've had at least one cap on every map so far, Night.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't feel like, well, you know, I feel like they kind of fell out of capping consistently last season. Normally SMC would cap a lot, but I think GlobalChem started to set a trend in the top tier teams where capping wasn't something that happened very often, because Global would always just go for the finishes and the kills. But as of late, you know, the end of last season and now this season, you know, SMC getting a ton of caps there, Globo going for more caps as well. I don't know what's changed, but the value of the cap has definitely seemingly gone up in these top tier teams' minds.
I'm not sure.
What it is. Maybe, you know, it could...
Join us next week as we dive into the mind of the Onward competitive player.
It could be that they're, you know, the game has finally gotten, you know, because I remember that people used to complain about codes being hard to punch in and wrong numbers getting entered in sometimes, stuff like that. It could just be the fact that the game is stable enough now where the punching in the code is smooth and consistent.
And it very well could be, and I hope so for the sake of the game and for the sake of competitive play. We have a quick trade in the center between Raider and Captain Soda as we kick off round number 2 here on Cargo. And the revive comes out, but immediately taken away again by Zarek. And Legionnaires even things out. It's 4-4 here as we go into the first 30 seconds of the map.
Augie and Kagan coming in with the shield. A nice nade gets behind me, Augie. Threads the needle there by landing, catching out 2.
Is that another frag? No, a flash towards the tunnel. Landon goes in to finish off the other enemy, and now he's grabbed his shield. He's going to go after the defenders. Landon calls him out, but Zarek hearing that call out, he pushes out, but it doesn't matter. Just Beefy gonna be there to take the kill, and SMC go up 3, and they take that one in just over 1 minute.
Very quick Volk win there, made all the quicker by a very well-placed, well, maybe lucky grenade there from Landon, getting a really nice bounce behind the shield. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Legionnaires have maybe been a bit deflated here. They don't seem like they're playing as intelligently as they were in maps 1 and 2. Maybe they're just a bit defeated at this point that SMC has taken the series, and there's really, quote-unquote, nothing to play for here other than points.
I mean, this is really SMC's map, too. This is one that they're just
That's
so
a good point as well. Yeah, absolutely. This and Suburbia, I mean, the 2 close quarter combat maps, SMC very dominant on. They do very well on these maps. So Legionnaires to even hold a candle to SMC on this map right now is probably a big ask.
Yeah, this would have been definitely the series in itself. I would have been surprised to see go Legionnaires' way, just because I know how much SMC have been practicing lately and how much work they've been putting in. But they put on a good show today. That was definitely a good series to watch. We've still got what could be a couple more rounds left if Legionnaires can start to fire up their defense here on Cargo. And we'll see if we see any RPGs out of them.
Well, we saw one in the last time that they took defense, but I don't think we got to see it get used before he was dead.
But if you feel like they know where you're at, just we're all covering.
That doesn't look like any RPGs getting pulled out here either. And yeah, I guess that's kind of another thing. It's a one-time use, so you have to really pick your perfect time. And if you don't use it and you go down, like you've done nothing the whole game because you didn't use your one. It's
Yep.
A big risk to go RPG these days. So at least in competitive.
Yeah, I mean the 203 is different because it's attached to your weapon. You don't even have to change weapon to use it. And you, I mean, granted, you still only get one shot with it, but you still have your primary weapon. You don't have to give up your primary to have it.
M203 shot coming out.
No connection though. Nice grenade we're seeing come in, but it bounces too far off the shack, and the defenders are safe.
Smoke, Sarek pushing into the smoke. Now he catches out Beefy trying to advance past that middle line. See, we're dropping quickly, but now they've sort of answered back, at least with one pick. A 2v4, now a 1v3. Soda has a tall order ahead of him. This could be Legionnaires, at the very least, answering back and getting on the board here for cargo.
Oh my God, he's in the cargo. He's gonna be able to cap unless Raider does able to catch him and stop the cap. Legionnaires able to get their first point and actually keep this map rolling for the end of our series.
They wanted to keep playing.
They did.
they wanted to get some more M203 time in. I mean, we haven't seen it yet in league play. At least I haven't seen it yet in league play. So interesting to see. It really has had no effect in this series at all, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe one kill going in Bazaar, and some damage being dealt. But
yeah, it really hasn't proven to be a big imbalance, has it?
No.
Again, this is the kind of information we need as moderators to be able to make calls on that. You know, it's always risky when things like RPGs and 203 grenade launchers get introduced into our game, which has mostly been infantry style weaponry based. I mean, granted, both of those are infantry style weapons as well, but
I think I see the danger. I see the potential, not the danger, but the potential behind it. Because what these guys are doing is they're picking spots in the skybox, which is a stable environment, and shooting the M203 up, and it's perfectly consistent, so you know it's going to come down in the same route every time. And so I think if you really practice that, you could have some insane M203 shots to cover angles that you just wouldn't be able to check unless you really had to fully commit and peek them. Almost like it's an artillery. Exchanges in the middle. M203 is getting shot here by Legionnaires to, again, no success.
One cross left, Beefy.
I actually maybe think Pwnecake very least took some shots. I'm not sure if the M203 did any damage on the back end to him. He had to heal.
Sickness gonna grab Kintmans, and that's only gonna leave Legionnaires with 2, and that's gonna be the 2 in the tunnel. Yaugi with the shield, and here comes a grenade. Just lucky enough to turn away as he was exposed to that frag, and a grenade comes out from him. It does not get Landon, however. And here comes another frag inbound. With no success, Kagan's gonna grab Sickness, trying to come up on the flank.
Front. He's in this candy right in front of us.
Two in tunnel.
The communication so strong from both squads, IDing everyone where they're at. Nades coming in over towards tunnel. Bunch of flashes. SMC trying to push in here. Finally, Landon gets the shield. And SMC wrap it up, put a bow on it, and take the series by grabbing the last map 4-1.
Yeah, and what was back and forth play turns into a momentous wave of SMC momentum. And as we said earlier, They rode that all the way to victory in our third map and in the series with an impressive score of, what was that, 12-4. But a decent showing, though, from the Legionnaires. Very good plays coming out from them. I saw a lot of great coordination and communication between them, which I was really impressed with. And I'm glad to see that their game is changing up a bit here in Season 7.
Absolutely. They definitely came out strong on both of those first two maps, Bazaar and Quarantine. It's taking the lead early, and I mean, I think what they need to do is definitely figure out how to ride momentum themselves. Because they're able to start that fire, but just not get it really building. And I granted SMC a very tough challenge going up against them. They're a diamond tier team. We're gonna have to keep the eye on Legionnaires for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be a strong team and be knocking on the door of the top 10 here very soon. I do not doubt that at all from the play that I saw today. So congratulations to the Legionnaires for putting up an excellent fight against SMC, a very tough opponent. But congratulations ultimately to SMC, our victors here tonight in this matchup here on the VR Master League. I mean, we thank you guys for tuning in with us, but I think that's going to be all for us for tonight. Thank you so much for your bits. We did see those coming in during the cast. Sorry we weren't able to shout those out. Of course, thanks for your clips. Don't forget to do that so that we can find those for the V-Respawn show that we do weekly. And don't forget, if you haven't, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can do that for free. NightFiree, is anything you want to say to the ladies and gentlemen before we head out?
Head on over to the website, follow everything. Links down at the bottom of the page. You know the drill, people. If you're not already involved, get involved. And I think that's going to be it from us tonight. We have both games wrapped up. So Space Force, I believe, taking the win against Riot pretty dominantly. 4-0 at least for the first two maps, and we're 2-0 on that last map. So definitely a good performance there. And here, SMC 12-4 against Legionnaires. I think that's going to be it from us tonight. More games tomorrow, so make sure to tune in. And we'll see you then. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster Sleepy with 2 3's. Good night, everyone.
Good night.